Every day, hundreds of thousands of patrolmen report for duty. Armed with a badge and the latest in video technology, you are about to witness their never-before-seen footage. Their stories caught on tape. Unbelievable. Horror on the highway. Terror on the job.
I'm just getting robbed.
This suspect refuses to spit it out.
Spit it out. I'll get it up.
This kid refuses to give it up. And this guy learns you can't outrun the law. It's time to squeeze in some serious, disorderly conduct.
Beaches All-Inclusive Family Resorts is proud to sponsor Sesame Street because the time we spend learning today is the time we spend creating a brighter tomorrow. So share in the joys of discovery with each other and PBS Kids.
Disorderly conduct is made possible by the red-colored grant for the U.S. Department of Education and by the Corporation for Public Broadcasting Service.
You know what? Your mom, your dad, your kids could be crossing the street, and this guy, if he doesn't stop, he's going to run right over first.
High-speed car chases are dangerous enough, but this suspect terrorizes the streets of Phoenix in a stolen full-size dump truck.
Right now. Look at this. Look at that. Oh, man. Here he goes at, where are we? Bell Road here. Right through the intersection of, oh, look at that, man. A truck nearly hit him.
This is so dangerous that officers on the ground have backed out of the pursuit. Now a newsman reports the terrifying action from the air.
All right, look at him, just coming through the intersection. People are wondering, what's this guy doing? And they don't know he's, you know, a criminal running from police right now.
He deliberately swerves onto the wrong side of the road and heads for a police car.
Look at that. Oh, man. Almost head on with a police cruiser.
He clips another car and skids across the road.
Oh, yeah. Look at that car going off to the side. Okay, control.
Then he takes aim at another cruiser.
Now he comes north underneath us. Oh, man, he's trying to hit the squad cars.
Despite the horrifying crash, he climbs out of the wreckage. An eyewitness grabs a baseball bat and goes after him. The suspect gets a beating, and he's probably glad to see the police finally arrive. That passerby is the son of an ex-cop, and his swift action helps officers quickly arrest this guy.
There we go. And there he just hit the...
Because of the crash and the beating, the suspect's taken to the hospital before he's booked on 8 counts of aggravated assault with a deadly weapon and other charges. Fortunately, the couple and the 3 children in the car he hit in the intersection are not seriously hurt. Imagine you're just doing your job and this happens. A robbery suspect vaults over the counter and immediately attacks the clerk in this Utah check-cashing store. Her life is in serious danger as he holds a gun to her head. With the surveillance camera serving as a silent witness, the assailant holds the woman down and gets the key to the safe. Next, the armed intruder whips out some duct tape to put around her eyes, but she's not going to have any of that. The brave woman fights back with both brains and brawn. She tells him she has small children at home and that her husband is about to drop by. In fact, she does hear from her husband, but not in person. He just happens to call, and the suspect tries to rip the phone from the wall. The only problem? It's only knocked off the hook, and now her husband can hear everything. As he calls 911, the intruder finally leaves. Then the clerk has her chance to make her own call.
Emergency. Hi, I wanted to please call Cash Valley. I'm just getting robbed by a man.
That man was not only low on cash, he was short on smarts. It turns out he was a customer in the store just days before and left all his personal information. After talking with the clerk and watching this video, police had no trouble finding him at his home. A car has just crashed into the center divider of this busy Los Angeles freeway. A freelance cameraman happens to be driving by and videotapes the scene. Suddenly, the driver darts across the freeway as he barely dodges speeding cars. The photographer tries to help the man, but the driver appears to be intoxicated. Then, without warning, this happens. A car traveling 70 miles an hour slams into the abandoned vehicle. The cameraman is now the one dodging traffic as he heads to the crash site.
Get out the road! Hey, get out the road now!
He finds the driver trapped inside her smoking car.
Are you okay?
Oncoming traffic and the smoke from the wreck make this a very dangerous situation. The photographer sets his camera down as both he and the passing motorist try to rescue the woman. He tries to bend part of the car open, but he still can't get her out. The stunned woman is conscious, but she can't move. To make matters worse, the gas tank could explode at any moment, and emergency personnel would have to get past stopped cars. Finally, rescue units arrive. After cutting off the door, the woman is removed from the car and taken to the hospital. Despite the fact that the woman never had the chance to hit the brakes, she escapes with only a few broken bones. As for the man who ran from the crashed car, he escaped from the scene and hasn't been seen since. It's a snowy night on an Ohio highway as police pull over a suspected drunk driver.
Put your hands on that thing. I just want to pat you down, make sure you don't have any weapons.
A second trooper approaches to back up his partner, but the driver's cooperating so far.
We'll have to do stuff with that.
The cop gets a little impatient.
Hey, we're doing the test. Hey, come over here and take this test, all right? All right? That's good. Now follow the tip of the pen with your eyes. Don't move your head, okay?
Time for test 2.
Keep your hands at your side. You can count 1001, 1002, 1003, all the way to 1030, okay? Yeah. Keep your hands down. Keep your hands down.
He's failed the field sobriety tests.
You have to go back to the police station and take a breath test. All right? So let's go back to my car. What do you want? I'll get it for you. Huh?
There's no way the officers are going to give this drunk driving suspect his car keys.
Turn around, put your hands behind your back, you're under arrest. Turn around, put your hands behind your back, you're under arrest. Get out of the road. Get out of the road. You're not getting in the car. Get out of the car. This is Charlie 510, we're resisting, he's running across the road. We got resisting, he ran south, call the sheriff.
This routine traffic stop suddenly becomes extremely dangerous, but training tells the officer to take the lawbreaker's car keys. Another officer spots the guy running back to his car.
Get off the road, get down our car.
This perpetrator refuses to cooperate, and the officer sprays him with mace.
Get down on the ground! Get down on the ground!
It seems to have no effect at all.
Down on the ground! Down on the ground! My mace is out! Stop, Nick! No, don't keep it!
Taking those keys was a very smart move. It just prevented a high-speed pursuit. Now the cop pulls out his collapsible nightstick.
Get down on the ground!
During the struggle in the street, the suspect grabs one of the officer's flashlights and uses it as a weapon to attack the policeman. One of the officers is injured so badly in the fight that he's forced to retire from duty. Now the felon's doing jail time for that assault, resisting arrest and driving under the influence. It's a show-and-tell robbery in Kennesaw, Georgia. The clerk hands over the cash because the suspect tells him he's holding a gun inside his jacket. When the man receives the money, he takes out his hand and shows the clerk. Look, no gun. Big mistake. The clerk yells and a customer grabs the suspect. The employee joins the fray, and they hold the man until the police arrive and charge him with robbery, possession of marijuana, and crack cocaine. And all because the perpetrator does not know when to keep his mouth shut. It's a high-speed pursuit down this freeway east of Los Angeles. Two suspected car thieves hit speeds up to 90 miles an hour as they weave in and out of traffic. The driver takes it up a notch when he exits the freeway. He clips a car at the intersection, then keeps on going like nothing happened down the wrong side of the road. The driver begins to circle the area, an indication that this is his home turf. Even with police on his tail, the driver continues to loop the same streets. Soon, the chase draws a crowd as word spreads throughout the neighborhood. Some even appear to cheer. The driver slows down long enough to acknowledge the attention. A citizen attempts to help the law by heaving a bicycle in the car's path, but the suspect just runs it over and keeps going. The driver sideswipes a squad car, then careens into a pickup truck and several parked vehicles. Then the driver makes his final run for freedom. Both the driver and his passenger are taken into custody as dozens watch. Despite the fact that they hit 7 cars, no one was injured, and the pursuit ends safely with the 2 men going to jail. The officer in Mendon, Louisiana, suspects this man is carrying drugs.
I'm cooperating. I just want to know what I do. Just put your hands on top of my car, okay? Put the cigarette out. Go ahead and lean down on my car right there, okay? Don't move. Just like that, okay?
As backup arrives, the officer signals that he thinks the suspect popped a bag of drugs in his mouth.
Open your mouth. Open your mouth up. You don't choke on it. Open your mouth.
They are determined he's going to cough up the evidence.
Just spit it out. Spit it out. Spit it out. Spit it out. Spit it out.
They've threatened to pepper spray the suspect, but another cop tries to reason with him.
Spit it out. Spit it out, man. They're going to spit it out, man. You got a blue bag. Put it in the back of your mouth. Spit it out. Open your mouth. Spit it out.
Open it up. Close it up, man.
The officers know that if those bags open inside his body, he could suffer a fatal overdose.
You're gonna die, man. That's gonna kill you. Spit it out, man.
Watch your face.
It's good. Too late now. Spit it out. Damn, we gave you ample opportunities. Now let's open your mouth. Open your mouth.
After pepper spraying him, they finally get one bag of drugs, but they think he's got one more.
Spit it out, man. Yeah, that's it, bro. That's the bag. That's spraying. That's residue still in there.
We got enough to get his head.
The officers believe they've got enough evidence, but this suspect could have made things a lot easier on himself.
You're gonna die, man. You're gonna kill you. Spit it out, man.
Police in Campbell County, Tennessee, pull over a stolen truck.
Hey, look, see the other hand. See the other hand. Where'd you get the truck at? My girlfriend. Okay, out of Corbin? Yeah. Reported stolen. Keep your hand up there while you see it. You got a gun in here?
The truck's reported stolen by the driver's girlfriend in Corbin, Kentucky. And he does have a gun in there.
Keep your hand up there. I ain't telling you no more now. Put your hand on the steering wheel. Put that hand. He's got a gun!
The chase heads south on Interstate 75.
709. We're in pursuit of this rider truck. It's tried to run over me, pulled out. He's got a gun in there too. Advised other units, he's got a weapon. Advised the highway patrol, we're in pursuit of 157 southbound of a rider truck.
Suddenly, the suspect fires his weapon.
711 Central, 711 County. He has fired a shot at me. He has definitely fired a shot at me. He's shooting at me. 11 709, I'm just going to try to stay behind him where he can't get a clear shot at me.
Down the interstate, Sheriff Ron McClellan hopes he can stop the shooter before anyone is seriously hurt. McClellan and his partner park their squad car to create a roadblock. When the suspect drives by, he fires several shots. One goes under the squad car and actually hits the sheriff in the ankle.
He fired 2 more shots at me. Central, he is firing at other traffic, I believe.
Up ahead, officers plan to shoot out his tires.
Take him out for it.
I got the shot, guys.
Come up here and stop this thing. 10-4, we'll back off there. He's coming up on you, guys. There he is.
The police gunfire fails to disable the truck.
Hey, he is coming by about 70 miles an hour.
Be careful.
Have you guys sit on the ramp here? That ramp block, please, so don't go down there.
They block off-ramps to keep him on the interstate as police officers continue to get into position to shoot out one tire on the truck.
Well, he's going to take his car out. That's what he went on by. Coming up on 134. Now let him come to you. Here he is.
One officer gets close enough to blow out the suspect's tire.
Tire's blowed out. The tire's blowed out. He's losing control. Watch out.
The truck slows down, and police officers clear an exit ramp so the truck can get off the interstate and come to a stop.
Tires are gone.
We're getting off at exit 128, 128.
As the truck slows down, the suspect continues to resist arrest and resumes firing his weapon at police officers.
So he hit my vehicle then.
As the truck comes to a stop, a huge gun battle breaks out. The suspect is hit during the shootout and rushed to the hospital. Sheriff McClellan, who was shot in the ankle during the pursuit, is back on the job the next day. Police in Stony Ridge, Ohio pursue an SUV at more than 120 miles an hour. The lead car's dash cam catches the driver as he dangerously swerves across all lanes. A second patrol car speeds down the freeway to try to catch up with the chase so he can back up his fellow officer. This all started when the SUV was clocked at 107 miles an hour and refused to pull over. The officer in the first car keeps pace with the SUV. In a desperate bid to get away, he tries to squeeze between a car and an 18-wheeler. It's a horrendous accident caught on 2 dash cams as he sideswipes both vehicles in a shower of sparks. The second patrol car hits the debris from the wreckage as the SUV rolls across the freeway and slams into the center divider. The officers run to the crashed vehicle with guns drawn. They pull the suspect out through the passenger door and cuff him. The SUV driver and a passenger in the 18-wheeler are taken to the hospital and treated for minor injuries. After being released from the hospital, he faces felony fleeing charges and is held without bail. Police in Crystal City, Missouri respond to a report of a suspected drunk driver. The officer catches up with the vehicle just after it hits a sign along the road and comes to a stop with the sign sticking in its grill. The driver decides to cooperate and ends the chase. The suspect and his sign pull off the road.
Come on, sit down for me. You okay? Yes, sir. How much you had to drink? You got a driver's license on? You take your hands out of your pockets for me. Come on back here. Put your hands on the back of the car.
There's no specific penalty for a DWS, driving with sign, but the 24-year-old suspect was charged with DUI.
For more Gamescraft, visit me Disorderly Conduct at pbskids.org.
Sunday.
Beaches All-Inclusive Family Resorts is proud to sponsor Sesame Street because the time we spend learning today is the time we spend creating a brighter tomorrow. So share in the joys of discovery with each other and PBS Kids.
Disorderly Conduct is made possible by the Red Alert Grad for the U.S. Department of Education and by the Corporation for Public Broadcasting Service.